I'm happy to report that our next speaker, Tyler Kellogg, reports that South Jefferson Central High School in Adams, New York, was happily ranked him 85th out of his class of 120. There's not even a word for that, right? I mean, it's valedictorian or something, and then poof, they fall off really quick. I know there's nothing down at 85. But one of the neat things is Tyler's been able to take his life and and it's a short run, right? He's only 20-some years old, and take it and establish something else that's full of meaning for him. And he's going to share it with us today. Ladies and gentlemen, Tyler Kellogg.
Hi, my name is Tyler. Can I help you with something? That's the way that I approached every person that I helped last summer. The reason that I had Phil say that I was 85th out of 120 was because I wanted you to realize that amazing things can happen from mediocre people. And I say that I'm a mediocre person because in our society today, that's the way that people are judged. It's all a numbers thing. For me, it's not about that. It's about creativity, and it's about listening. Everything that I've ever done in my life that's been successful has happened because I've listened to someone. Everything from finishing an Ironman triathlon with my dad to my successful trip last summer. Now, about my trip, I was exactly 1 year ago today sitting in my chair at my house thinking about what I was going to do for work next summer. I didn't want a minimum wage job. Those are boring. I didn't want to work 9 to 5. Those are boring hours. I wanted to do something unique and creative that could impact our world in a positive way. And something inside of me said, you need to help people. It made me think back to a day when I was in high school and we had a snow day. I'd shoveled my driveway and plowed my neighbors and plowed my other neighbors, and I was getting ready to go snowmobiling with some of my friends. I was heading down to the coffee shop to get some coffee and get a little energy, and I passed an old woman, 85 years old, shoveling her lawn or shoveling her driveway. And I looked at her, and I could just see the pain, and I could see the struggling that she was showing. And something just didn't sit right. I drove by, and I kind of did one of these. And I turned around. My stomach told me I had to turn around. My heart told me I had to turn around. And I listened. My idea worth spreading is listening. It's the simplest thing that we can do for other people. Whether it's listening to me speak today and not throwing tomatoes at me, or listening to your neighbor or your friend. It is the simplest act that we can do. And it really is a life changer. For me, I've always been really excited about meeting random people. And so when I had this opportunity to go on a trip last summer, I decided that I wanted to meet as many random people as I could. And I wanted to integrate that random acts of kindness into it. So what I did was I packed my car, I put all the crap that I thought I would need for a summer in there, and I just drove. I drove from my house in Watertown, New York, all the way to Key West. And every time that I saw somebody outside, I'd pull over, I'd wave to them, and I'd say, "Hi, my name's Tyler. Can I help you with something?" Can you help me with something? They'd say. Or, "Are you trying to steal my identity?" Or, "Are you here to kidnap me? I don't have any money. You can't steal from me." I'd say, "Nope, I just want to help you with something." And they would look back at me as if I had 5 eyes and a tentacle growing out of my head. And one of the stories that I wanted to tell you today was about listening. And it was the most emotional and heartfelt person that I'd met this whole trip. I was in Georgia. I was driving, and I'm just a little northern boy, or I guess a big northern boy. And I felt a little bit out of my element. And as I was driving, I saw a man who was sitting out on his porch, and he was reading the newspaper. So I did what I always do. I pulled over, said, "Hi, my name's Tyler. Can I help you with something?" And he just looked back at me the same way that a soldier would look at you after he came back from the battlefield, or a person would look at you from a funeral. And it made me uncomfortable. It made me confused, and I didn't know what had happened. And I said, again, "My name's Tyler. Can I help you with something?" And he said, "You can listen." "Oh, I can listen. Okay. That's not really helping. I thought I could mulch for you or rake your lawn or tar your driveway or something." And he said, just listen. And so I sat down, and he gave me a cup of coffee, and he opened up to me, and he poured his heart and his soul out onto that table and let me think about it the way that I would. And what had happened to this man? He was 60 years old. He just retired a year ago. His wife was the same age, and she had done the same thing. They had no kids, and their whole life they'd been preparing to go on this retirement trip, just do all the things that they wanted to do. Several months after they retired, she was killed in a car accident. I get emotional thinking about it now because I see this man who's just grieving. And he says to me, the funeral was 2 months ago, and I have literally not spoken to anyone since the funeral. And I said, oh my gosh, oh my Lord, how have you not spoken to anyone? And he said, no one wanted to listen. And here's this man, this wonderful man, a successful man, who had been brought to solidarity. He'd done nothing. He was just stuck. And it was all because no one would listen to him. And so I sat with him, and I shared this cup of coffee. And for 3 hours, we spoke. And within an hour, he was laughing. Within a couple hours, he was telling jokes. And by the end of it, I felt like he was one of my best friends. All it took was a few hours to start his recovery process. But no one had done it. No one had given him that time of day. And I think it's so important as a group of people, as a group of like-minded people, that we approach these situations and realize that we don't have to have billions of dollars to change the world. We have what it takes to change one person's world every single day, whether it's your brother or your mother or your best friend or somebody that you don't even know. You have the ability to change their world. And in my view, changing one person's world is the way that you need to change the whole world. As I was driving along, I found that people were listening to me. I'm 21 years old. I'm a junior. I'm a mediocre student, not because I don't try, just because I don't understand. And understanding what I don't understand is everything. And it was amazing to me how much people would listen to me because I put my things in my car and just drove. That doesn't give me any credibility. For all you guys know, I'm crazy. I probably am. But they would listen. And it would restore faith in people in my generation, in my age group, because everybody thinks that we're just going to shut down. And I urge you, everyone in here, to listen. Listen to your friends, listen to your children, listen to your children's friends. Because even though their ideas may seem far-fetched and wild, they aren't. My idea was crazy when I first thought of it. And now I'm down here at Greenville talking on my spring break. Exactly 1 year ago today, I was just a mediocre student. Mediocre. Today, I get to talk to kids all the time. I get to talk to my peers. I get to go on these awesome trips and tell people about how simple philanthropy can be. Philanthropy on a budget. It's the simplest thing in the world. It's talking to people. It's opening up your heart. It's opening up your mind. And every one of you in here can be a philanthropist. So don't be afraid to open up your ears, open up your heart, and listen. Thank you.